Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Dark Souls 3, SL1 NG+7, no damage run. This is the painted world of Ariandel, and this is going to be the longest video of the session, because it's quite a rather large area, and then it is a 3-phase boss fight, which is 3 bosses in a row. We're not going to be taking on the Grave Tender. I don't really like that fight too much. It's just a bunch of scrubby mobs and then a big Sith rip-off, so it's one of those bosses that I don't even count and I never do it. The purpose of this challenge run, guys, is for me to have fun with this game, and there are 2 bosses I don't have any fun with. The first one is Grave Tender, the second one is Half-Light, so they will not be included here. There's a chance I might go back and do Grave Tender if I'm feeling whimsical, but I just don't see it happening, because it's just one of those fights that I don't even enjoy on New Game, let alone NG+7 under these restrictions. And fundamentally, I want to have fun with this. I want to share it with you, and I want you to enjoy it too. And doing things that I don't enjoy is one of those things that we all have to do, but it's only within reason. Like, the only reason I did Deacons is because you have to. Technically, you have to do Half-Life to get to Gale, but I'm just going to punch him once and he's going to die, and then I'm going to put a one-punch quote over it, and it's going to make everything okay, because it's a piece of shit boss fight, and I have no interest in it. But let's talk about what this run is, because it's kind of strange as a javelin tickles my ankle right there from up on the precipice, and he's going to continue to throw them, so I'm not going to have any luxury to isolate this follower. I'm going to have to go for him, but not to worry, we'll figure it out as I kill the mobs, which I'm hoping you are enjoying me killing the mobs. Sometimes killing the mobs is more tricky than the bosses, because the bosses are consistent. The mobs are not. The mobs are bloody crazy. Which is why I'm running past most of them. But this is a no damage run, which is essentially no damaging each part of the game in sequence, from bonfire to bonfire. When you get hit, you reset to the bonfire, and then you try again. And it's kind of a show of fortitude and perseverance more than anything. There's obviously skill involved, because it's not easy to do this, but this is not to be confused with a no-hit run. No-hit runs are ridiculous in my mind. They're the kind of thing that is incredibly impressive, but I have no interest in ever doing it. Somebody asked me the other day on my Dishonored 2 walkthrough if I would ever consider doing an Iron Man mode of that game, and if you're not familiar with that term, Iron Man generally relates to not saving. It relates to doing it all in one single section, like you would a speedrun, where you do everything on the same credit. And that stuff is mightily impressive, mightily practiced, and incredibly awesome to watch, but it's not the kind of person I am. I'm the type of person, I like to figure out strategies, and I like to figure out cool ways of doing things, but it usually involves restarts and restarts and restarts until I figure out all the subtleties and it works and I get what I need. That's the way I enjoy playing. A lot of people refer to this kind of method as save scumming, which, to me, I thought save scumming was when you like, wasted all your money and all your items on like grinding or something, or doing some kind of upgrade system, and you didn't get what you wanted, and then you reverted your save back from the cloud and you got all your shit back and you did that again. I thought that was save scumming, and even that I understand 100%, and I wouldn't call it save scumming because it sounds like a really like judgmental name, doesn't it? But to some people, just restarting checkpoints a lot is the equivalent of save scumming, like in PC games where you can quick save. If the game tells you to quick save often, like Dishonored does, and you do that, people call that save scumming because they have this kind of elitist approach to it, and I don't understand it at all. I don't agree with it at all. The idea of giving player control over the checkpoints means that they get to action their own ideas of difficulty. If you want to have 20 checkpoints during a boss fight, you can have them. If you don't want to have any, you don't have to put any, and that's kind of the whole mentality, and it's a mentality that I stand behind, which is why I like save states. Save states to a lot of people are cheating, and I understand why they think that, because it goes against the rules of what the game was designed. But to me, I like to instill my own measure of difficulty, so using save states is something that I vastly enjoy. I don't want to do things like... Souls is a great example. I hate the runbacks in Souls. If I could save state at the fog door and just get straight to the fight, I would do that. If I could save state in the second phase of a fight, I would do that. Like, I would happily do that, because to me, that's not where the challenge lies. It's in doing things and fighting things and overcoming the adversity that I do enjoy. But a lot of people, once again, they refer to this thing like as save scumming and everything. And that's perfectly fine if that's what you think it is, but I don't, and it's kind of what I enjoy to do. I like the idea of selective insanity is what I would call it. It's scrumming a thing enough times to get a different result, rather than, you know, getting the same result every single time. And it's a process that I do enjoy. So I've never been a fan of the Iron Man stuff at all. So the whole idea of a no-hit run to me is kind of crazy. Because those players, you know, the stress that must take to get through the game in those stipulations, it must be agonising. And it's one of those things, I just don't have the heart to do it. And for me, I like playing a different way, which is why I don't do that. One of the things you'll notice a lot in those no-hit runs is they almost mitigate every opportunity of taking on any of the game. Like, they kill the bosses because they have to, they avoid everything else, they use alluring skulls a lot, they use every trick in the book, and it's understandable why they do that. If I was one of those players, I would do the same. But to me, when I want to do a challenge run, that's not my idea of challenge. Once again, I don't want to offend anybody who does this or respects people who do this, because I think it's fantastic what they do. It's just not for me. It's the same with speedrunning. I'm not a speedrunner, guys. I watch Trance all the time when he's doing Code Veronica and he's doing crazy shit on that and doing all this ridiculous stuff and then immediately going back in for another run. I don't know how these people do it. You know, I don't have it in me. Look at fucking that garbage. You see that? Good old Wilhelm there, reading my input and doing a perfect punish. You know the best thing about these NPCs? You know, if you go up to them to do a parry before they've done some kind of setup swing, they will charge the move to make sure you don't get the parry. That's how bullshit the AI is. So they'll start doing an R2, you'll go to parry it, and they'll charge it. Like, it's so broken, it's really silly. But the way I fight this guy is simple. I wait for him to do the one-handed swings, and I punish the second one with a parry. It's consistent because he will always swing when you're close enough, and he doesn't seem to moderate it, which is awesome. And the moment he swings, he can't cancel it until the swing is gone past a certain point, so the parry is guaranteed. But this guy killed me more times than some of the bosses in this section because of just how much life he has. He can heal, and he's just got all those stupid tricks that the NPCs do in this game. But the no-hit stuff is, yeah, it's not for me. Same with speedrunning. Speedrunning's not for me, but I find it endlessly entertaining for the people who can do that stuff, because the dedication needed is kind of awesome. It's really awesome, and I appreciate it a lot. But this is something else. This is more a testament of editing. That's what I like to call these runs, because I die all the time on these runs. You can see my bloodstain just down here. This guy killed me a bunch of times. I must have died 3 or 4 times getting through the painted world, so... You know, my no-hit run ended the moment it began. It was never even a thing. There's me pointing down because I don't like him. I wonder why he calls her that, you know, the Elfried. I wonder if people have reddited the tits off of the lore there and figured it all out. As I mess with gestures and I push forward to hit this lever. I like a lot of areas of Ashes of Ariandel. It's got some fun zones in it. I just... You know, you don't spend too much time here, just through the nature of it being quite quick, and a lot of the areas are very densely packed with enemies, which leads to awkwardness. I wonder if this is kind of an homage to Yosefka, you know, when she's pregnant, and she's kind of laid up on the gurney in a posture similar to her. She, for some reason, is kind of like scraping the table or playing with something, which just looks weird. She's going to have a terrible back by the end of it, because her posture is not good. But here is the Mountains of Madness, is what I've called them. I'm going to pop on a Slumbering Dragoncrest ring for the purpose of this, because this is absolutely ridiculous. There's about 40 fucking wolves waiting for you up on that cliff, and then once you get past the cliff, there's 2 Millwood Knights. And I would have liked to have fought the Knights, but I'm not getting chased by dogs while I'm doing it. It's just kind of crazy. That's not speaking all the followers. There's a follower to your right there, there's a follower to your left, there's one to your right here, and then there's 2 coming up. One sat by a tree, one to his left overlooking the side. Like, it's just obnoxious. There's so many of them. This is one of those areas that this would be really, really fun to explore and to navigate, but they've made it so that it's not because of how many enemies there are. And these wolves are psychic. This one on the corner jumps out here. If he doesn't hit you, you're the luckiest person on the planet, because he has this almost picture-perfect dash that he does. This like weird jumping dash attack, and it hit me about 5 or 6 times. Really frustrating. I was tempted to use Alluring Skulls, but I wanted to do it just by running. Because as much as the skulls are incredibly useful, I feel like I'm avoiding challenge using them with this kind of run. And don't get me wrong, I'm avoiding a lot of challenge by running past that entire zone. That is a very tricky zone. Same with this. I'm not going to kill any of these bugs, guys. You know, I killed Wilhelm. I've killed I've killed nothing else. This is probably a weaker one for killing enemies. But you don't realise just how awkward the enemies are until you fight them on New Game Plus 7. You know those cursed, like, monks in the Ring City? You know, if I stunlock that thing, and I just hit it and keep on hitting it, I die first. Do you know why? Because the passive curse build-up is so fast on my resistances that I can't even kill him when I've got him in a stunlock, because I die first. Like, that's just crazy to me. So whenever I fought those, which I didn't fight any of them after I figured that out, I had to intentionally engage and then back up until the curse meter went down and then engage them again. Because standing close to them is the same as standing close to Smelter when he revs up. You just take passive curse. It's one of those bizarre things where I just don't really understand some of the factions. I like the idea of curse, but I hate what they did to it in this game. They made it crap. Curse was my favourite status effect in Dark Souls 1 because it gave you that super cool skull image on your bar, and it punished people for being cursed. There's a nice reset there going back to the bonfire. I did get killed by flies. It's how it works. I got killed by the vomit that they do, which has never happened before, so that's nice to get. You can see some of the god rays being cast by the candles in the window there. You don't see this on console, I don't think. I don't think the lighting is as good. But I decided to talk to her because I wasn't looking forward to this. This is probably one of the hardest fights in the game. I personally don't think it's too bad, because I've had to do it a few times now, but even still, the gauntlet of 3 fights in a row means that you play way crapper against the third phase than you would if you could get some kind of checkpoint. And it's just, like, the first phase is obnoxious, because it's easy, but it's dangerous. The second phase I like a lot, but if you get an awkward pattern where Freed sticks to Ariandel and she keeps attacking through him, she negates all your damage, and if they sync up too often, it ends up going way longer than it should, even though everything he does is really fair. So Freed. You can parry her if you want to, you can backstab her if you want to, or you can just kind of stunlock her. You get 2 hits almost guaranteed, but depending on what she does on the 3rd hit depends on what you need to do accordingly. That right there is a good opportunity to get a backstab, but I just didn't play it right. I have another video of this on New Game Plus 6 if you want to watch that, where I might perform a little bit better. That's a good backstab punish. You have to wait though. If you go too soon, you'll often get frostbitten, which is really annoying. But here she goes invisible. Watch for how the plume happens. You notice how the plume went upwards? That means she jumps behind you. If it goes to the left, it means she jumps to the right. If it goes to the right, it means she jumps to the left. Think of it as the dust she kicks up as she dashes. She can't kick up dust in the direction she's dashing towards. That's the logic you need to use to punish that move. You're going to need to know this as well, guys, because in the 3rd phase, she does the same thing, and we're going to need to know where she goes, because if you don't get that punish, you can die really easily. But there she goes. The plume went to the left, we chase to the right. I do a charged R2. You can actually sometimes do a second R2 after the charged R2, but if she does anything else other than being aggressive, you can die. So you need to be careful, because if it misses, you're in a lot of recovery, and if she swings, you can't roll. But here's the 2nd phase. So, 2nd phase is kind of fun, because Ariandel's kind of a bitch. You can stagger Ariandel if you hit him enough times in the head, but it's just not going to happen on New Game Plus 7, sorry. He's probably going to die before that happens. You can also backstab and parry Freed, but it really isn't worth it. I've done some experimenting here. The best thing to do is to keep your eyes on her, understand what he's doing, and punish him. But there are a few things that you need to know about Ariandel which kind of suck. His knees are hitboxes. So if he's moving forward like this and you go near his knees, he will instantly kill you. It's garbage. It shouldn't exist. There's no reason for his knees to be hitboxes, especially considering that his pot has probably one of the best hitboxes in this game. I've literally been millimeters from that pot and it's not killed me. Yet I've been nowhere near his knees and he's streaked past me and killed me from his fucking knees, which is annoying as hell. But he's really controllable too. At distance, he's either going to do flame, he's either going to do the 3 shuffles, or he's going to do the big slamming combo. All you want to do is check where she is and what she's doing, and then punish him accordingly. If you're close enough and he tries to swipe you with the pot, you can do a single hit on one of his swipes. On the swipe where he releases it from one hand, you can hit him twice. On everything else, I would recommend that you kind of just let it go. Here's the 3 slams. Move to either side of this, and then hit him as he goes past. Be careful of her. Frostbite will go up so quick when you don't have armor on that it's the most legitimate threat here if you control this fight correctly. Also, don't get too aggressive. If you go nuts and she frostbites you, what have you earned other than a sloppy death? And something that might seem really strange to a lot of players, but every single boss fight you've seen in this game, I did silently. I did it with music on. So all the cues that you can get from hearing her and everything, I didn't have, because I was too busy getting pissed off. I do this thing, me folks. I appreciate that audio cues are really important in a lot of fights, but I get so sick of listening to the fucking game that I have to listen to something else. It would drive me insane. And I've also discovered that music is not as good as TV shows for me, because when I'm listening to music, I'm still focusing a bit too much on the game for my own tastes. When I'm listening to music, or when I'm listening to a TV show or watching a movie, I kind of relax and I don't get as angry and stressed out, which is a lot better. But when I'm on my PC, because I'm recording with software that records my PC, I couldn't do any like split screening with movies, so I had to do music, which was a bit annoying. I'm probably going to figure out a system where I can do that in the future. But here's the breath. You'll notice Fried's very close here, so I'm going to quickly get the kill, but I'm not going to get too greedy because she was really close then. And then we can get on with this one. So there's a lot of punishes for this fight that involve backstabbing her jump attacks. All of them can be punished. The problem is nerves. I cannot punish half of those attacks because I get so nervous in this phase. The things you need to be aware of: her jumping ice hits have the worst hitbox in the game. There is no reason for her to hit you. I have so much footage of me getting hit by nothing, and everybody who's done this fight under these stipulations has been hit by this garbage. But what I like to do, I like to hit her once, and then I like to run away and reset. She's invisible, so where does she go? Plume went up, she jumped behind me. Here's the streak of ice. Where does she go? She went to the right. Watch her again. She went to the right. So now she's going to be charging the attack from the right, and we need to backstab her. I believe some of my backstabs here fuck up a little bit, which is not what you want, but it's what I got. One hit, back away. If she dashes towards you, be careful. Whenever she does that streak, either sprint it or roll once, but make sure you roll away from where she's going, because her scythe has got a really stupid hitbox. Do not roll towards her, it ends in death. There's the German dog shit, which she shouldn't have, but she does. Here is a really good punish, but I'm too scared, so instead, dodge the shockwave afterwards and move backwards. Here's another jump. This is ridiculous. Always roll the moment the scythe would hit you if you were in range, because you don't look like you're in range, but you are. Trust me, guys, do never ever give her any leverage with that move. This is another great punish if you've got the balls to do it. I don't. I get too nervous. So there's standard streak. Here's a jump. Whenever she does this, it's either jump or it's the double spin. Once again, wait for it to land, dodge it as if it was hitting you, and then move away. I love to keep her at distance because I want to bait the grab. If I can bait the execution grab, I can get a free backstab, and I believe I'm going to fuck up everyone in this run. Because I'm just... Dude, this fight. When you've got two bosses behind you and you don't want to make a mistake, you'd be surprised how much you... Look, I went in. I got bowled. That's all you need to do. If you do that, this fight goes so much quicker. And I get the one hit, and she runs away, and then we reset. What does she do? Invisible. Where does she go? She went to the left. What does she do? Streak. Where does she go? She went to the right. Move out of the way of it quickly. Where does she go? She went to the right. Get her. Find her. Backstab her. There she is. Buff. Backstab. Lovely. Picture perfect punish for that. One hit. Get out. What does she do? She hits the floor with the ice, she resets, she does a dash. Be careful of the dashes too. Oh, this is bullshit too. If that goes through certain geometry, it goes invisible. So be very careful, because it will still hit you. Be careful of the streak. Move out of the way. She rolls backwards. Here she comes, execution. Roll it once, backstab. Fuck the backstab up. No single reason for me to do that. That's just either nerves or bullshit. I shouldn't have done that. Run towards her, Chris. Good lad. Get her. Fucking stab her. Stab her in the ovaries. There we go. Put her down. One hit. Get out of there. What does she do? Covers herself in ice. Here comes the grab. Please backstab her. See what I mean? I have no reason why I'm fucking those up. I have the timing. I have the spacing. It must have been nerves. There's the streak of ice. That goes really far. Look at it. Barely touched me, and I nearly got frostbitten. Watch out for that. Punish it. God, I'm so happy I got a couple of these punishes in. It made it go way faster. One hit, get away. What does she do? If she dodges towards you, it's scary. This is scary too. Whenever she does this, fucking terrifying. She can endlessly dash forwards if she wants to do that double spin, and there's almost nothing you can do about it. And that double spin up close is one of the hardest moves to dodge. I'm so happy that that didn't go badly. She went behind me. Where does she go? She jumped to the right. Where does she go? She jumped to the right, so now she'll be over to the right. Where is she? There she is. Backstab her, please. Good lad. Put her down. One hit, get out of there. And now this is when you start getting really nervous. So here she does with the standard combos. She's at a decent distance. Here's the big hit, and I saw it, and I punish it accordingly. Beautiful play now. And technically, I should be able to kill her now. Do I kill her, or do I wait? I kill her. Oh, no, no. Look at that. She survived. Oh, my God. She survived. I was angry at that point because I didn't get greedy, and I got punished for it. And this is the moment in the attempts where she'll hit me and I'll fuck up. This is literally how this goes. Like, this move, I'm going to try and punish it. Why would I do that? Because I know I've won. So happy that I got that. My goodness, what a terrifying fight. That looks simple, doesn't it, guys? But trust me, the Black Flame Freed is not that bad. But when you have all of that inheritance of those first two fights and you know you've got to do them again, I can't even begin to tell you just how much pressure is on you. It's kind of preposterous. But that's the end of this chapter, so thank you for watching, and you take care now.